All right, I'll try and keep as brief as possible. So this is to prepare your graphics. Now, there's a number of programs that we're going to use. First one that you can see here is Lucid, which I'll give you the link to. And I've prepared a document, which I'll show you in a minute. And this is the couple of examples. This is a bug from James and the Giant Peach, and that's Shrek. And I just want to show you how you can create those. So the first thing is you do actually need to do some design work on paper. And when you do your design work for cards, you'll need to think about the layout, the general layout for all of the cards. So you need to make them look as if they're all from the same pack. So for example, this is a square with a graphic on it, a block of text, and a heading underneath with a color, just plain color background. This bug one here is got the title underneath here, it's got the bug or the character right in the middle, and a picture as a background. And this Shrek one here is really interesting because it's his head is just in front of this panel here, and it kind of helps to give it a very three-dimensional and very cool look. And also his name is there, and it's a slightly unusual layout. But when you're designing, don't forget to look at these graphic layout methods that we looked at. So, for example, this edge trim contact one, which I like. Maybe you could have all the characters looking from the side of the card. That would kind of make it a bit more dynamic than just the character sitting in the middle of the card. Also, don't forget your Adobe Color Wheel results that came out from the book. And an interesting thing is that if I show you, this is a color wheel. Instead of taking these, if you look at under here, you've got some codes. And if you don't, these are hex codes. So if you copy that code there, when you go into paint.net, which is here, and you look at the color, there is a place you can paste the color in, and you'll get exactly the same color. You could also use the RGB codes as well. They're on the Adobe Color Wheel result as well. So that's a really useful thing to get your colors really matching up. Okay, so let's go back to, let's put that away a minute. So remember, you need to have some design intent. What's your basic layout? And I think individually, that's what you need to prepare, whether you're doing the graphics or not. So make sure the 2 or 3 people in your group have given you an idea about what they want on the card and the kind of layout. So here we go. This is what we're going to create. Let me just see now. Now, to create these individual bits of graphic, like this Shrek and this character here, I've got a number of tutorials that I've found on YouTube, which will help you understand how to do it. And I've kind of put the title underneath here. So first thing is to get this effect and this bug in front of the clouds and and this his head in front of that white panel, you have to appreciate the importance of layers. All right, so this little tutorial that will explain about layers. It's a very simple concept. I'm sure you'll get it straight away, but it's very important. These two here will describe how to delete stuff from around, all the stuff that was around the side of the character. Or in the case of our project, you've got the book cover. How do you get rid of the rest of the book? Because originally it looked like that, and I just got that character out of there and I stuck him on here. So how did I do that? Well, I followed one of these tutorials, how to delete a background. There's another way of deleting the background. There's a way of getting around not having to delete the background, which I'm not sure whether we're going to be able to use, but possibly if you can find another source of the characters or whatever you intend to put on the cards. If you search for PNG files, they have transparent backgrounds, and that makes it a lot simpler. So that's a little tutorial about that, something to look out for. And then putting text behind an image. Again, that's to do with layers, and I did a little bit similar to what he did, but he put a hat on him as well. So, getting some real depth in your graphics, making it look really dynamic. And then this is an interesting one, is combining two images. So if you're doing graphics, say to go on the box, for example, on the side of the box, you might want to mix some bits of image together, and that will describe how to do it. And I would strongly suggest that you all work through these tutorials and do them at the same time. You can pick similar images, it doesn't have to be exactly the same image. Set yourself a task, and that should be okay. So once you've prepared your bits of image, you can then bring them into, you can just copy and paste them straight into Lucid Press. And if I show you this, this is a for 16 cards. These are normal size, like playing cards. If anybody wants a slightly different size, and I know there's at least one person that wants leaf sizes, I can do a few, but I'm not going to do a individual frame for everybody, and I'll explain what I mean by that. So first of all, you'll put the front of the card on this page, and on the second page here, you put the background, and then when I print it, I print the first page on the front, second page on the back, and then you get cards with a nice pattern on the back. Now, we can't get when I cut them on the laser cutter, I can't get the printing and the laser cutter to be exactly correct. It could be a couple of millimeters out. So we can't, so what I'm saying is, on the back of the page, you need to put like a wallpaper or a continuous design where you will cut out, when the cards are cut out on the laser cutter, it'll take a bit of this, and it doesn't really matter which bit you take. So you need a kind of a continuous pattern, and there's a source, a link to a website where you can get wallpaper. Right, so I'll give you that as well. So let me just explain what this is all about. So this is obviously going to be the card, and there's 3 examples. And this is a border, and it's been locked. And the reason why I've locked it is because I don't want you to delete it. That tells you where more or less the laser will cut, because I've made a template that will follow this. And taking me a long time to get it right, but it's right now. So this is normal printing etiquette. What you do is that you design it, and you make sure that you bleed out past the cut line, past the trim line, in fact. So this yellow, for example, goes past it. This cloud goes past that line, and it'll more or less cut on that line, but not exactly. So if you have something really important like text, make sure it's inside the box. Don't put your text like that, because it'll be cut off, definitely. And if you put it really close to the edge like that, it may be cut off. And either way, that's not good. So put it a little way in, that'd probably be okay, but that would be even better. That's absolutely sure that will work. Now, the only thing you have to do is, when you've prepared all your tiles, is remember it's going to cut round there. Okay, so you see Bugs World, I've got inside the line, and I've got a little kind of few millimeters around the outside. This is about 95 by 65, if I remember rightly. Now, before we print it, however, we don't want that line, because it may cut on the line, but it'd probably be cut a millimeter or 2 either way, we don't know. So all you've got to do is make it invisible, because you can't delete it. Right, so it's still there. So if you weren't quite sure, you could bring it back, and then, so I just get rid of it. There you go. And that will print without a line, and then it'll cut round there. And even if it's a millimeter out, nobody's going to know, because I've taken the border away. So I'm just going to put that back in again. All right, so once you've prepared all your images and everything, we can then print it on card. It's 250 card, which is about similar to a playing card. And then we put it into the laser cutter, and then it'll cut them cut them out, and there you have it. Now, obviously, you won't do that for graphics that goes on the side of the box. We can just print it. And to do that, you just need to create a document in, let's just do one in, so a Google Doc will be fine, in fact. There we go. So Google Doc, and let's see, let's get that, where is it? Where's that? Oh, it's gone. Yes, let's find it again. James, oh, there we are, James and the Giant Peach. There we are, images, and well, we'll take another one. Let's take this one, that one, copy image, there we go, and then we can, I think we can paste it in there. Yes, we can. All right, now, if you put a border on that, so it's a little border around the outside, if you go to image options, you can then size it. So you could take measurements from your box and you can change this and get it exactly the same size. You notice when one number changes, the other number changes, and that's because it's the aspect ratio is locked. If you unlock the aspect ratio, then it starts to do weird stuff like that. Don't do that. Right, keep it locked. I can't remember where it was, and then it'll shrink in proportion. Okay, and then so that's fairly predictable. So say I wanted the width to be exactly 10. There we go. Then I can guarantee that fits. Now you have to look at the other side, the height. Is that going to be okay? Say it's not right, then what you're going to have to do is crop it. So if we go like this and look for crop, where's crop gone? There it is. And then maybe I don't want all that writing, for example. There we go. And maybe that's perfect for what I want. Now, if it's still not right, what you could do is manipulate that in paint.net and mix it with other images, and you can then maybe bring it back out into Google Doc to get the size right. Okay, and then we can print it. All right, so I think that's everything. I'll give you the links to all this. So the template you'll need the link to, you'll need a link to the wallpaper, and you have access to your Adobe wheel, color wheel. You have access to the graphic layout methods for actually designing the cards and designing the graphics that you're going to put on it. And then you've got the color wheel if you need to go back and get the hex codes. And I think that's it. And of course, I'll give you the link to these tutorials for paint.net. I hope that was useful. If you have any questions, you can ask me.